I'd like to share my favorite pose for low back pain. And this pose is good to practice all on its own, maybe at the end of a practice, the beginning of practice, whatever it is for you. And it's not just for physical pain. It might be mentally, you just had a rough day and your mind feels scattered and you just really feel like you need to settle down. This is my favorite go-to, and it's called chair Savasana. So I'm using a simple metal folding chair. You could use an ottoman, you could use the side of your bed or a couch, as long as the surface isn't too high. My chair is backwards because you can see that the seat has a slight slant to it. So I want the lower edge facing me, so my backs and my knees are coming to this edge. I'm going to cover the chair, because it's cold metal, with a blanket. So the idea is to be as comfortable as possible. And that being said, I'm on carpeting and 2 mats, so this surface is pretty comfortable. If you're on a hardwood floor, you may want to open up a blanket or 2 on top of your yoga mat to make your surface comfortable. And it's also nice to have some extra props handy, such as some small washcloths like this. So if you feel like you're sinking or twisting in certain areas, you can play with where you want to be propped in order to feel like you're more balanced and settled onto your back. So many of us with scoliosis, especially with spinal fusion, have more of a forward head posture. So when we come onto the floor, if we don't have head support, our chin may be jutted up higher than the back of, or higher than our forehead, and that can feel compressive to the back of the neck. So the head support may not be necessary for you, but whatever you use, just make sure it's a minimal amount. We don't want to feel like we are propped up so much as if we were reading in bed, which is not a good habit either. I do have a strap and I have a loop in it. I'm going to make it large enough that I could put it around my thighs. This is optional, but it is nice. And another optional thing to have is, if you want to start a relaxation practice, maybe you could involve like using your favorite scent, and that might be lighting a candle or burning incense. I don't like burning things. I have some essential oils, and you may just simply open them up and smell them. You don't have to apply them to your body. One I have is peppermint. I used to carry this with me and just smell it before teaching when I taught an early 7 a.m. class for a while, just to be alert and focused. Another one that I have is a blended stress away blend, and it's in a roller, and they will come and they put this on my wrist, rub it around, and smell this before practice or before teaching. So if you have some nice scents around that you can keep, those things last a very long time. So when I come onto my back, I don't want to roll through my spine. So I cannot roll through my spine having a fusion, but even if you are not fused, we don't want to go into our curve pattern and exaggerate those curves. So roll to your side. And then from your side body, you take a log roll onto your back, and your calves can go onto the chair or the ottoman, and the backs of my knees are supported. And from this point here, I don't have to use the strap. I could open my legs as wide as the chair rungs, and that gives me some support here. I just want to take a moment and kind of lengthen myself out a bit. So yeah, the legs can go wide, or you may like to try putting a strap around your thighs. And the strap is not to squeeze the legs together, it's to allow the weight of the legs to rest into the strap. So my legs are parallel with each other, and there's space between the thighs. And this is allowing the legs to grip a little bit less, allowing more relaxation in the legs, the pelvic floor, and the abdomen. Now your head support is under the head and the neck. Having a little extra kind of roll can be nice if you don't have a cervical curve. You could even bunch the sides up a little bit if your head tends to like to veer off to one side than the other, just helping it keep center. And just make sure that the blanket is not under the shoulders, that the shoulders are able to rest onto the floor and not being pushed up by your blanket. So in this position, you can play with your arm options. The arms can go out nice and wide. This may feel like a nice opening in the upper chest, especially after a day of working hunched over a computer. Maybe like the arms a little bit lower. But the position with the palms open, so the arms are externally rotated, is good for the shoulders. So if I have my arms by my sides, it's rounding my shoulders, and compressing this area of my upper chest that I want to keep open. So wherever the arms are, just face the palms up toward the ceiling so that the shoulder blades and the head of the shoulder can rest toward the floor. Now, if you like to relax a little further and it's daytime and there's just light in the room and you want to block that out, you can take a washcloth or an eye pillow and cover the eyes. This is especially helpful if, let's say, you have a short period of time and you just want to find relaxation a little quicker. I find that covering my eyes, just letting the eyes rest from the light, it helps me to tune inward, paying attention to my internal world and blocking out the external world. And it's fine to simply let the body rest and breathe here. So unless you're dealing with a cold or something, keeping the lips sealed and breathe in and out through the nose. It's going to be more calming, filters the air, warms the air. It's going to help you find a longer exhalation. You could even play your favorite song and just let your body be in stillness. Another practice you could do here with the breath is just simply counting the duration of your inhale, seeing what number you come up with, and then count how long your exhale takes. See what number you come up with. So you could match those numbers, let's say a 5-count inhale, a 5-count exhale, and that could be very calming and soothing to the nervous system. If it's the end of the day and you're looking for more relaxation, winding down, you could make that exhale a little bit longer. So let's say an in-breath to a count of 5 and an exhale to a count of 7. And you may find that you might like to count a little while, and then eventually you're just not thinking about that anymore, and your mind has just concentrated on breathing on its own. So you could stay here 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes. It's going to feel very nice for the low back and the brain. And when you are ready to come out, just think of coming out of a pose exactly as you came in. So slipping off the strap, maybe you can wiggle your chair away, and not hoisting yourself up into a sit-up, but rolling onto your side, and then pressing yourself up with your arm. So that was our simple practice of chair Savasana. I hope you love it.